This is the horoscope for Cancer for September 2023. This video is suitable for both Cancer rising as well as Cancer sun signs. Good news, we're starting off September with a much lighter mood. Towards the end of August, you might have felt a little bit of a dampness, a little bit of feeling disheartened, not as joyful, and not as outgoing. But actually, this will dissipate at the beginning of September. So you might feel a little bit like stepping out of your boundaries, at least more than you did in August. And especially good news for you, Venus will finally on September 4th go direct. So you might have been experiencing in August a little bit of a drawback or a little bit of a still stand when it comes to your finances because Venus was retrograde. However, now when Venus is going direct, you might find that things start flowing again. See if there's anything you learned in August when it comes to supporting yourself and how you make money that you maybe want to change or apply now in September. Now is a great time to do that. Apply and change some new things that you learned in August. And at the same time, literally a day after, Jupiter will be going retrograde. And for you, this is in your area of long-term vision of your community and your network. So this could show up as a couple of things in September. You might find that plans with friends and with your community are not going through as easily, that there's a bit of a struggle there, which is okay. There's no need to necessarily spend the month being overly social. And you might find instead when those plans fail, I would highly recommend to take some time to sit with yourself and reflect on where you're heading, what your goals are, what vision you have for the future, and if everything is in line with that. There's no need to take action yet. Jupiter is retrograde. It's more about reflecting and taking the time to step back and analyze what's happening in your life. I would also be careful not to share too many things about what you're doing and what you're thinking about at the beginning of September. This is not only because Mercury is retrograde, but also because for the middle part of the month, Mercury will be opposing Saturn. So you might find that the way you're expressing yourself is a little bit more negative and a little bit more disheartening, not as positive. So therefore, try to keep those things to yourself for the beginning of the month. And for the second half of the month, you'll find that you're back to your open, honest, and cheerful self. And actually, right around the time that Mercury is going direct, we also have a new moon in Virgo in your house of communication. So at the beginning of the month, having gone through the Mercury retrograde, see if there are any things you learned about the way you communicate, about your intellect, about the way you gather information. And if there are any things that you want to change, then you can do that in the second part of the month. There is a lot of focus for you with Mars in your fourth house this month. There's a lot of focus on your home surroundings. So naturally, as a Cancer, you might already be drawn to your home. But having Mars there means that a lot of your energy and your attention is going towards establishing a really nice home base for yourself. I would say this goes perfect with the Jupiter retrograde that we have happening. So see if you can combine both in some way. Does your home support you with the vision and the goal of where you're heading ultimately in life? And we're closing off the month with a full moon in Aries in your public image house, in your career house. So you might find towards the end of September that there are some things you need to let go around your career. And it doesn't have to mean that you're gonna lose a job, but it could be dropping a certain way that you show up at your workspace that is more in line with you. It could be starting to communicate in a more powerful way in your workspace, right? With that Mercury retrograde that allowed you to reflect on your communication. It could be adjusting something in your career so that you now earn more money, because Venus is thankfully starting to go direct in your financial house. It could be adjusting something in your career so that you're now more in line with this long term vision that you have for your future. So if something is dropping away around your career at the end of September, do not be afraid. It needs to go and it's all okay. So overall, you're quite future focused, Cancer, this month. It's a beautiful time to spend time at home, spend time reflecting on where you're going, and to also see if you can incorporate your learnings around your finances and your communication into your career. So you might see quite a few things happening in September. Don't be afraid. It's all for the better.